Now, Chris, you're a writer as well as a director and actor. Um, Give us a tip on writing.
Right. No, I'm kidding.
Just right. Just do it.
Just right. No,
What are you waiting for?
so long story short, like my family is full of creative people. My dad does stand up, and he always told me, bring a notepad with you wherever you go.
Ooh.
You're not going to remember it. And I was like, oh, what do you know, old man? My memory's a steel kit. But he's right. Bring everything. Like bring a notebook. You have your phone. Go into notes. Write something down. Because if you're a writer, and if I'm speaking to the writers here, they know you're always people watching. You're always observing. Always. I observe at work. I observe when I go to the grocery store. I observe when I go to the bank or when I go out to eat. Because as much as you may not realize it, there's always something ridiculous going on, whether it's funny, whether it's people fighting, or you just overhear conversations. Now, I don't eavesdrop. I don't stare at people and make it obvious. But some people are talking about some ridiculous stuff out there that has led to a scene and then eventually a script. So I would just say, just if you're a writer and you need a tip for writing, just always be ready. And your favorite weapon of choice, a pad and a pen. Honestly, like
Sure.
you're always I don't know, like it's funny, like I know a few people who do stand up, and you just watch out what you say around them because it might end up in their bit. And even like as a writer, dude, like you hear something funny or you just hear something crazy, and obviously you can't use people's real names and stuff like that, but the idea is just ridiculous. It might work for an idea of yours.
Truth is
So
stranger than fiction.
exactly, and
Like,
it's
we're in
and
the
it's
pandemic
great.
right now. Who would have thought? I often find it hard to write because just this situation is so much weirder than anything I would have ever put to paper. But
Yeah,
when I'm outside and when there were people walking around, um, I have Google Docs on my phone and I just make a quick document, jot something down. I may never
yeah.
come back to it, but at least I have the the act of writing it down will, I think, help reinforce more than just thinking of something. Like my wife said, "Oh, I had this weird dream. It kept me up. I don't remember what it was."
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, you got to write it down.
that's yeah, exactly. But that's what it is, and I've my writing professor in college. She said every time she had a dream, she had a notebook and a pen by her bedside just in case, because you wake up and you remember it, and some dreams are so vivid that I remember, but other times it's just like, man, I had a lot of weird images in my head, and I didn't know what they mean, and now I can't remember.
Sure.
Um, but yeah.
So you have written some comedy. Are you typically comedy? You do a little bit of drama.
There's been a weird flux in my life because I've always loved comedy. Like I grew up, my parents showing me all Mel Brooks movies, and in college, I tried to like help my buddies write a little bit, like like fake like CSI spoofs
Hmm.
because they're so ridiculous. And my first short film is like a comedy set in a zombie apocalypse. My senior thesis film was a comedy, but I don't know what transitioned. Maybe it's more personal reasons that I don't know about yet, but I started doing a little bit more dramatic pieces. And Little Did She Know, I think, is a mixture of like serious tones, but like here's a dash of a comedic timing or a comedic line or all that.
Hmm.
But I don't know about you, during this pandemic, my mind's been clear. I have been working from home and it's been draining, but I've written two short films in a matter of time. One 6 pages, one 16 pages, and they're comedies. And hopefully have another comedic short film coming out soon with my buddy who I do a podcast with. So within the last year, I've been forcing myself to get back to writing comedy because not everything has to be so serious. But some of my favorite shows are serious, but then I like Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, all time favorite shows, and they're genius to me. So I think it depends on the month, it depends on the year, but mainly I do try and go for comedy because I think now more than ever people need stuff like that.
I think that, yeah, they always do, but now more than ever, for sure, with all the stress that's
Yeah.
involved. I always find if I'm feeling like super stressed, um, then I turn to something funny, just
Yeah.
to forget about it. So it plays an
Uh,
important role, that part of entertainment in
exactly.
society and
Yeah.
people's lives. Um, Talk about how you're writing, what you want people to take away from it. What's the ultimate goal? Because I know you've got a message behind what you write. It's not just to make children giggle.
Yeah. No, that's a really good question, and one I've never really been asked before, if I'm being honest. Because um, when you send scripts to people, they're just like, "Oh, I like it," or "Oh, this could be worked on." They're never like, "Why do you write?" And I always wonder, like, I think deep down, like I don't know, I just don't want to sound silly or whatever, but deep down, I think I just enjoy entertaining people. Like if I'm in a group setting with people, and I know the people in the group, I know like what I can say and can't say, like jokes wise. So I always like joking around, and I think screenwriting is creating a story, which eventually is a movie, to entertain people.
Hmm.
So I think writing, I'm able to kind of get things down on paper that just interest me. And I know that sounds probably selfish, but I just, with certain projects, like this idea is in my head, and I would like to see how these characters deal with it. My recent script I wrote, it's about a guy trying to get his hooded sweatshirt back from his ex. And I feel like all of us, and it's a ridiculous comedy, and I feel like all of us have been there before,
Hmm.
where we've given someone to something, give something to someone, and then either you never get it back, whether you're friends with them or dating them, and you're just like, I really should have done that. So it's just
And it's
like,
stupid stuff too. Like, you
yeah,
can always
yeah,
get
totally.
another
Yeah, you
hoodie,
could buy another hoodie for 20 bucks, but no, I need
but it's
that
like
one.
the
That
principle of it too. Like,
exactly
okay,
that
so
like
yeah, we're talking about your true life experiences. Even if it wasn't a sweatshirt.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you know, I always find that something works a lot better when there is a real grain of truth in it when you're writing about something that you've experienced. So
Don't people say every joke has some truth in it? If you're joking with someone, a wife, a girlfriend, a friend, and you throw that little snide joke in there, there's still a little bit of truth to that. So